I'm Miles Tran, 36, and I've spent the better part of my adult life building a stable future. I work as a software architect, and after years of late nights, missed holidays, and relentless freelance projects, I had managed to save up $120,000 and maintain a nearly perfect credit score. I wasn't trying to be flashy, I just wanted security, a place I could finally call my own. Then there's Sienna, my girlfriend. She's 34, works in event planning, and she's incredibly charismatic, creative, and when she wants to be sharp. We've been together nearly 4 years. About 2 years ago, we moved into a tiny, worn-down apartment in the city. The place was falling apart, creaky floors, heating issues, but we made it feel like home. We always split everything 50/50ths. Even though I made quite a bit more, I never kept score. That's what a relationship is, right? Last year, our rent spiked hard. That's when the maybe we should buy conversation got serious. I'd already been prepping for that step. Sienna joined in fully open houses every weekend, Pinterest boards, espresso machine debates. It started to feel like our dream. Then came the numbers. I met with a broker and was told I could qualify for up to $580,000 on my own. But if we applied jointly, thanks to her student loans, low credit, and some unpaid card balances, our number dropped to $360. Zero. I told her the truth. Applying solo gave US better options, more space, safer neighborhoods, even a home office. She was disappointed, but agreed I should go ahead alone for practical reasons. We found a beautiful, $470,000 home in a quiet, safe neighborhood with a yard, garage, and kitchen that looked like it was built for food magazines. I paid $90,000 out of pocket, my life savings for the down payment and all closing costs. Sienna helped with the moving truck and a few new pieces of furniture. She was involved in every aesthetic choice, except the legal one. On closing day, as I signed the deed, she leaned over and said casually, "So when do I get added to the title?" I paused. We had talked about this. I reminded her that with her credit and no financial contribution, the house had to remain in my name, that it wasn't personal, it was a matter of liability and long-term risk. She went quiet, but the silence didn't mean acceptance. A few weeks later, I noticed she started logging every single shared expense: $23.17 for groceries, $9.45 for cleaning supplies, $14.50 for takeout. She emailed me spreadsheets. Our relationship turned into a budget app. Then came the kicker. She said she wanted to start contributing to the mortgage so she could earn equity. I told her it didn't work that way. The loan was in my name. The risk was mine alone, and if we broke up, I'd be liable for every cent. She could just walk away. She snapped, told me I was treating her like a tenant, not a partner, said the house made her feel disposable, but was already planning my exit. I tried to explain. This wasn't about love. It was about protecting what I'd worked so hard to build. Then she dropped another bomb. Her parents offered to gift her $50,000 so she could buy into the house. I said no, flat out. That's not how this works. I didn't want to be financially tied to our family. What if we split? Would I owe them something? Would they get a say in how we used the home? I didn't want no strings. She said I was controlling, that if I really loved her, I'd be willing to share what I built. But then came the part that sealed it. She confessed she'd already spoken to a lawyer, not casually, not just for information. She'd been actively exploring ways to gain legal rights to the house. The lawyer told her she had no current claim, but if she started contributing to the mortgage and we signed a written agreement, she could potentially build a case for equity down the line. She was planning this, quietly, strategically. I asked her why she'd hide that from me. She said she just wanted to understand her rights. But let's be honest, you don't get a lawyer unless you're preparing for a fight. She admitted her parents were even willing to fund legal action if she wanted to go after partial ownership. That's when I lost it. I told her, this manipulation is exactly why I didn't add her to the deed. She wasn't acting like a partner. She was positioning herself for legal warfare. She stormed out, went to stay with her sister. It's been 5 days. This morning, she texted saying she still wants to work things out, but only if we draft a formal equity agreement. I told her no, absolutely not. The trust is gone. If she wants her name on a house, she can build her credit, save up, and buy one herself. I won't be guilted into giving away half my home just to make someone feel secure. Do I still love her? Maybe. Or maybe I just love the person I thought she was. But I know this. If I had added her to the deed when she first asked, I'd be in the middle of a legal mess right now. She showed me who she really was not when I said no. But when she tried to force a yes, sometimes love doesn't mean shared ownership. Sometimes it means protecting yourself even from the people you thought were safe. That first night after she left, the house felt haunted by silence. No footsteps from the next room, no laughter from the hallway, no gentle hum of her music while she worked. Just stillness, not peace, just the weight of what could have been and the relief of what didn't happen. That night, I walked slowly through the house I bought. Every tile, every baseboard, every cabinet knob felt like it held a memory. A debate we had in a hardware store, a Pinterest board Sienna made, a Saturday afternoon spent choosing grout colors, and yet, all of it felt hollow. Because while I thought we were building a life, she was planning leverage. Looking back, the signs were there, subtle, but present. She'd avoid conversations about marriage, brushing them off with a joke or a redirect. But when it came to the house, she was laser focused. Every sentence started with "when this is our house, not if, not yours, always ours." Before we even signed anything. At the time, I thought it was sweet, hopeful. Now, it felt like strategy. And then there was the sentence I couldn't stop replaying in my head. "My dad says he'll loan me the money for a lawyer if I want to fight this." She said it like she was asking about weekend brunch. No emotion, no hesitation. The same woman who once teared up when I fixed her broken bookshelf, who made me soup when I was down with the flu, now discussing legal warfare like it was just another line item in the budget. She texted me again 2 days ago. "Can we talk this weekend? I don't want us to end like this." I told her she could come by Sunday at 3 p.m. I spent the whole morning preparing not just the house, but myself. I laid out every document in a neat little stack. My loan approval, the closing paperwork, the bank transfer records, even a letter from my lawyer outlining that I held sole legal ownership and no implied equity had been granted. If she was going to come with paperwork or accusations, I would be ready. But when she arrived, it wasn't the confident, quick-witted Sienna I had known. She looked smaller, like life had shrunk her. She stood at the door for a few seconds, hesitating, before quietly saying, "I'm not here to fight." I nodded and stepped aside. We sat on opposite ends of the living room on the same couch where we'd laughed, cried, bickered, and built IKEA furniture side by side. She folded her hands in her lap and took a shaky breath. "I shouldn't have gone to a lawyer behind your back. That was wrong." I said nothing. No nod, no forgiveness, just silence. Sienna sat on the edge of the couch, hands clenched in her lap like she was bracing for impact. I panicked. She finally said, "You were making all these big decisions without me, and I felt like I was watching the life. I thought we were building takeoff without me in it." She glanced around the living room, at the gallery wall we never got around to filling, at the dining table she fought hard to keep instead of replacing. This house, it made me feel like I could be left behind at any second. I inhaled slowly. "Then why didn't you just talk to me? Why bring in your dad? A lawyer, why not trust me first?" She dropped her eyes to the floor. "Because I didn't trust you. Or maybe I didn't trust myself. I thought if I could just lock in some security, like something, it would make things feel safer. Like you couldn't just walk away and take everything with you." My voice came out sharper than I intended. "That's not how you build trust, Sienna. You don't file paperwork to force commitment. You don't weaponize legal advice to secure love." Her eyes were already glassy. "I know. I realize now that's exactly what I did. I didn't mean to manipulate you, but I did." There was a long silence. I stared past her, at the espresso machine she'd insisted we splurge on, sitting on the kitchen counter. I remembered her beaming the day it arrived, saying, "It's what mornings should feel like." Then she spoke again, and it caught me off guard. "My dad still thinks I should sue you." I blinked. "What?" She shrugged faintly. "He says I should fight for partial ownership. That if I've been living here, contributing to shared expenses, even if it's just utilities, I should have a legal claim." I laughed. "I didn't mean to, but it came out dry and cold. You're not suing me, right?" "No," she said quickly. I told him I wouldn't. "I just wanted you to know how far this could have gone." I almost let it. She didn't say it aloud, but I saw it in her eyes. If she'd had a stronger legal footing, she might have done it. That was the final crack, not the suggestion, but the fact that she'd considered it. We sat for another hour. We didn't argue. We didn't even cry. We talked like people writing the final paragraphs of a story we both knew had ended a few chapters ago. When she left, she took the lamp she loved, a weekend bag, and that espresso machine. She said she'd come by next week for the rest. I told her I'd pack everything and leave it by the door. The next morning, I called a lawyer, not to retaliate, just to protect myself. He helped me draft a formal letter, revoking any potential financial claims, future equity, or implied ownership. I mailed it that afternoon. I sent her a respectful message, just a PDF with a brief note. Please review and sign this when you pick up your things. She never replied. A few weeks later, Sienna moved into a short-term rental near the event venue where she worked. A friend mentioned her dad had helped with the deposits. No shock there. As for me, I've been learning how to live in the house without her shadow everywhere. The echoes don't ache like they did at first. I turned the spare room into a small home office, something I'd always wanted but held off on. Because she liked the space to feel minimal and versatile, I even built a new bookshelf, the same model I once repaired for her when the back panel split. This one's mine. Some evenings, I sit out back with a drink, watching the sun slide across the fence line, not to toast a breakup, but to remind myself I made it out of something that nearly cost me more than money. I used to think love was enough, that showing someone a future, offering them space in it, was the same as security. But now I know better. Security isn't something you hand over to keep someone from leaving. It's something you guard, especially when emotions try to cloud judgment. Sienna said she wanted stability. I offered her a home. She wanted her name on paper. I wanted commitment that didn't need a legal clause. She brought love, sure, but she also brought intentions. And when those didn't match mine, she left with hers intact. And now I sit in the house I worked for, sacrificed for, protected, and for the first time in months, I feel something simple and clean. Peace, not because she's gone, but because I finally understood that love doesn't entitle you to ownership, especially of something you didn't help build.